Hi, I'm Pete, and welcome to Just a Few Acres Farm. There's one word that can describe the weather in the last 2 days, and that's yucky. We got 1.75 inches worth of rain yesterday, and today it's just a little drizzle with fog. So when I get days like this, it's maintenance time and repair time, and it's all part of farm life as far as I'm concerned. Making do for yourself instead of hiring things out. And today, I got to replace this caliper on my truck because it's stuck. Heck, it's only 15 years old. Jeez, what happened to it? Anyway, I got to pull it off and take it back to the parts place. Looks like my pads are getting kind of thin too, so I might as well go ahead and replace them. Rotors, they're okay. Who the heck put that on there? He must have been really strong. Oh, let's try this. There we go. Have I mentioned how much I love working on vehicles? What happens is these calipers go bad and the pistons won't retract all the way and they wind up dragging. That's what happened to this one. Makes the wheel hot. Ooh, those pads are shot. Yeah, 4 pistons. I'm sure they're stuck. Same thing happened to the other side caliper last spring, and of course I just replaced one of them because I'm cheap. I probably should have replaced both of them. I've been keeping busy in the shop the last couple days. Yesterday I had to replace the rear springs and shocks on Hillary's van, and oh, let me tell you, that was a fun job. Move some of this crap out of the way here. I just want to test this old caliper before I bring it back. And the way to test it is just see if the pistons flow in smoothly. That one does. That one's okay. That one is stuck. That one's stuck too, so the caliper's bad. Well, I got to run to our friendly neighborhood auto parts store and get replacements, and then I'll be back with you. Well, I'm back, and I got a new, looks like new caliper, not reconditioned, with the hardware. They even gave me an extra set of hardware. I don't know why they did that. We'll put the brake pads in and then we can start getting things back together. Boy, it's amazing how much stuff's gone up. Everything, auto parts too. I paid probably 30% more for these than I expected, but I guess it is what it is. When you need it, you need it. We'll get in there. There we go. I always forget which way these little dinky-doos go. Oh, come on, you. There we go. No. Yes. You gotta go in that hole. Get in there. Oh. Get in the hole. Okay, she's ready to put in. Get on there. Well, where do you go? There she goes. I lubricated my wrench with brake fluid. Now we just got to bend this new brake line around to the right spot without kinking it. Take that plug out. There we go. This bleeder's got a cap on it. Wow, that's nice. Well, I just planned on doing the caliper on the other side, but since I need new pads, this tire's got to come off too. Well, let's see here. Yeah, that pad's shot too. Rotor is okay. Well, she is tight on there. There we go. This one I'm going to replace the pads right on the truck so I don't have to mess with the brake lines and bleed it and all that crap. If I can just get it up here. There we go. Pull these pins out. Might as well put the new ones in since I got them. I got an extra set. I used to use Never Sees on these pins, but it just seems to attract dirt and make the pads bind up, so I don't use Never Sees anymore. And I use Never Sees on a lot of brake parts, just not these front brakes. Yeah, shot. And I'll just push these pistons back in, the vice grips, so that the new fatter pads will fit into the caliper. It's like playing whack-a-mole with these. You push them in, the other ones come out. And you just have to keep going until you have them all in. There we go. Paint the ends of the pistons with a little bit of Never Sees, just to make sure they don't stick to the pads. Put the new pads in. This doohickey on. Where'd my pliers go? New clips. Hopefully she fits on the rotor. There we go. Well, that's not right. Where are you, hole? There you are. No, that's not you. Can't see a darn thing. I think she's tight. Looks good to me. Hillary's going to help me pump up and bleed the brakes because, you know, it's kind of a two-person job. All right, Hill, hold down. Pump it up again. Okay, hold down.
Holding down.
Pump it up again. I get a little free rust proofing out of this too. Hold it down.
Holding down.
Once more. I get a poor man's brake system flush out of this too. Hold it down.
Holding down.
We're good.
Let the pedal go.
Yep. I started up the truck and pumped the brakes and we'll just look for leaks. I don't see any there. I don't see any there. It looks good. I'll just put the tires back on and we'll be good to go. Another job done. And torque these to about 90 foot-pounds. And take her out for a test drive, you know, to make sure she stops. It's a good idea. Well, she stops just fine. It's nice to get things done, even on a rainy day. I apologize, this wasn't a normal farm video with me running around and Hillary and chickens and pigs and cattle. But this is a big part of farm life for us, and it's kind of the way we farm. We've chosen to make low overhead part of the way that we make our small farm profitable, which means that I always have a running list of mechanical projects that need to get done. Repair projects on both farm equipment, personal equipment, home. We don't hire anything out, and the reason that we don't do that is because if you boil down my hourly rate as a small farmer, it is less than the hourly rate I would pay a mechanic to fix my brakes. And also the parts that the mechanic charges me for is going to be at list price, and I'm paying discount off list price for those parts. So if you look at it in those terms, I'm in the hole quite a bit if I don't spend my own time to do it and pay somebody else to do that. And that's why I've said in a lot of videos, I can't see a way to make a living on a small farm without being a jack of all trades. But I understand when people say, well, geez, I want to have a farm, and I've never done that kind of work. I don't even know where to start. And Hillary and I were talking about it, and she said, well, how did you learn how to do all this mechanical stuff? And I really didn't have a good answer. My dad was a mechanic when I was growing up, and I was with him in the shop a lot, taking things apart. I couldn't put a lot of them back together, but and seeing what he did and, you know, helping him where I could. And I learned some that way. But I think that the best way to learn is just the way I learned when I redid our house. Is a job needed to be done. I wanted to do it myself. So you go out and you find the resources you need to learn how to do it. You kind of have to be a self-starter. Back when I was doing it, there were books to read, and when I started restoring tractors, I read a lot of books. I got a whole shelf full of them. And then when things like YouTube and the internet came along, that made things easier. Like yesterday when I replaced the shocks and springs in Hillary's van, I had never replaced shocks and springs in a 2008 Toyota Sienna before. I didn't know how to do it, so I went on YouTube, I saw a video. The way that the guy did it was not the way that I did it, but I knew the territory. And you find that when you start to do mechanical work is once you know how things work in a basic form, like how an engine works, when you run into a different engine or, you know, a different tractor, a different car, you can apply those same principles to fixing any brand of stuff, cars, tractors, Toyotas, GMs, Fords, whatever you're working on. I mean, the principles are all the same. You just need to get the base of knowledge. And the best way to make the base of knowledge is to just, if you have a problem, if your brakes are bad, you learn about how to do brakes. Maybe brakes are a bad example because they're so important to safety. If your cigarette lighter is not working, you go and you learn how they're wired and how they work. And I guess they probably don't even put them in cars anymore, but you get the idea. I mean, you just go and figure out the first thing, and then you go and figure out the second thing, and pretty soon it's easier to learn things. So if you don't have mechanical experience, it's just the same as not having farming experience or carpentry experience, or you learn these things, and it makes you more, what's the word? Empowered, self-sufficient, confident. All those things come along with it. In control of your own destiny. Those are really important things, I think, especially when the world is kind of going nuts, to know that you can take care of yourself and you don't need to rely on lots of other people to get by. That's my thought of the day, I guess. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.